Introducing Payflex POS, a mobile, order-at-the-table, pay-at-the-table, line-buster solution.
In today's demo, we're going to take a look at Payflex POS,
as it's working with a point of sale. Now, some of these functionalities can be different if Lite is working as standalone. So today, this is going to be a companion version.
Payflex POS.
Here, you can see I'm at my employee login screen. I'm going to put in my 4-digit PIN to log in. I can also click on this clock button here to put in my 4-digit PIN to clock in. Once I put in my 4-digit PIN, you can see the example that we're using today is for a full-service restaurant. Here I've got a handful of different service areas from top to bottom. Now let's say I wanted to start a transaction at, say, the patio. I've taken my Payflex Lite out to the patio to start an order. Here you can see my occupied tables and my not occupied tables. You can see this one here is partially checked out. So let's go ahead and start a new order at table 22. Now the system's going to prompt for a number of guests. It does the same thing in the point of sale. This allows for positioning. In that instance, it makes it easier to deliver food to a table to help alleviate for auctioneering. It also makes it easier to split the check at the end of the order. Let's go ahead and say we've got 3 people at the table. Hit done. All right. Now you can see that I'm in my menu screen. I've got pictures from my categories in each category. And when I tap on that category, you can see an option appears for all the items within that category. You can also see displayed the name as well as the price. And you can see on the bottom right, if I've got count enabled, what the count of the item is going to be. And lastly, if I wanted to add an item on the fly, you can see I've got my plus button here on the bottom right. Let's go ahead and share some jalapeno poppers. Here you can see I can assign this item to a course if I need to. Otherwise, I can assign it to a person or share it at the table. But today we're going to share the poppers. Alright, because I've added my first item to my cart screen, you can see this new button appears here at the bottom middle. One item for $17.02. Now if I was all ready, I could tap on this cart. And now you would see this is my cart screen. It shows my list of items, how many guests I have, and if I want, I can pay or send from here. Now let's say we're going to go ahead and send this to the kitchen and move on to our next table. Now you can also see this count is set up with something called redirection. Now what that means is if I send somebody to the kitchen or I complete a transaction, it's going to send me back to my employee login screen. This can be customized at a per terminal basis. So for instance, if one server was going to be using one
Payflex POS device
all day, you might want to change that setting so that they can continue using the device. However, for a device that's being shared with different staff, that can be a nice way to avoid people accidentally using each other's pins. Now, let's go ahead and log back in. And we're going to go back to that order. Table's ready to order their entrees. Table 22. All right, person number 1 has decided they're going to get a salad. And they're going to get a buffalo chicken salad. Once again, I need to select the position. It's number 1. So I'll hit person number 1 and hit done. Now you can see I'm at my modifier screen. So what dressing are we going to get with our salad? Let's go ahead and say range. All right. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to order an entree for person number 2. They've decided they would like to get a burger. So let's tap on burgers. And we're going to pick the bacon, mushroom, and Swiss. That's person number 2. And hit done. All right. Now, it does come with a side, so let's go ahead and select a side. All right, now you can see here I've selected my side salad. Now we also have to pick a meat temp for our burger. Let's go ahead and say medium. And then let's go ahead and go to toppings. Now, one of the things you're also seeing on your screen is these are the pre-post mods we would normally use on our point of sale, and we can see that they apply to Lite as well. So for example, let's say I wanted to add cheese. Or let's say I wanted to say no mushrooms. Or let's say I wanted to say, hey, can we do light on the tomatoes? Now that I've tapped each one of these things, it's going to add to the cart screen and I can hit the add button. And then lastly, the next thing we want to do is person number 3 wants to get an entree. And they would like to get a steak. So let's go ahead and ring in our hanger steak here. And person number 3. Done. Alrighty then. Now let's go ahead and go to our cart screen. Once again, I can hit the send button here to send this to the kitchen. I also have the ability to split the check
From the Payflex POS device.
To do that, I'm going to hit this button up here with the 2 arrows. And right now you can see the entire check under one check, but I could also split this evenly among 3 people or 4 people, or I can split by position, hence the benefit of using positioning. Once I tap position, you can see check 1, 2, and 3 are now created, and if I close this window, I can now see that I've got check 1, 2, and 3. Now, if all this is going to be on one check, let's go ahead and combine it back. I tap this button here, and then tap merge. And then close it out. And now you can see we're back to where we started. Or I can pay for the transaction. Now I've got a few other things I can do as well. So for instance, let's say I made a mistake on this buffalo chicken salad. If I click on the buffalo chicken salad, it's going to take me back to my modifier screen where I can make any changes. So for instance, let's say I wrote ranch down, but I remember they actually wanted French. You can also delete items just like you would in the point of sale. So for example, I can swipe to the left on this item and tap my delete button to get rid of the item. Additionally, I can also hit the note button in case I want to add a custom note to that order. You can also see down here that if you want to add a note to the entire order and not just one specific item, you can see the option for order note here. Also up here at the top, we've got a couple of buttons. So here, starting with this plus button, if I wanted to return to my ordering menu screen, I could tap this button to ring in more items. If I wanted to say print the receipt from my device, I could hit this printer button that you see here. Also, if I wanted to make edits or changes to specific items in the cart screen, I can use this pencil button here. This is very much like using the select menu in the point of sale. Also, I have these 3 dots up here at the top right. If I tap this gives me some additional options. This is kind of like when you go into the pay screen of the point of sale and you scroll down. It's the same concept. So here you can see I can redeem a coupon or make this order tax exempt or apply a discount to the whole order. Additionally, from the screen, if someone wanted to say pay in cash and I wanted to be able to know what their balance due would be, how much their change due would be, you'll notice here in the bottom right, I've got these 9 dots. In this scenario, I can hit this button and then I can enter in how much cash they're going to hand me. So for example, that would be $90. Then I would hit done. Otherwise, we can go ahead and use these buttons up here to pay for the transaction. Now you can see this account is currently set up with something called dual pricing, hence why there's a card menu price as well as a cash price. So let's go ahead and process this transaction, and today we're going to do cash. And they're going to hand us $100 in cash. And then hit done. And then cash. Do you want to pay $100 by cash? Yes, I do. And there's my change due is $10.66. And now I have the option to email the receipt, text the receipt, print a customer copy, merchant copy, or both copies. Otherwise, I can say no thanks. Additionally, an account can be set up with something called tip prompt. In that scenario, during that process, a window appears that asks if I would like to tip. From that scenario, I can customize my percentages or my amounts. Next, let's go ahead and open up our sidebar real quick just to see a few different options. In the event that I wanted to refer to any orders, whether they're closed or open, I can go and do that here. And I can also perform refunds on any orders that I've closed. I can review my customer database or adjust a tip. I can close my batch and review various different types of reports. And I can also manage my employees. And that is a brief overview of
Payflex POS device.
Thank you for watching today's video from
Payflex POS
Training Center. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the like button below and make sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates and to join our growing community. Also, be sure to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you never miss an upload. See you next time.